Damien Thorne is dead, but his prophecy is about to be reborn. Omen 4, The Awakening.
Is that the girl?
Behind her sweet smile
Get her away from me!
lies a dangerous secret.
Do you think it's possible for a child to be born evil?
Now, a reign of darkness is about to be unleashed.
What evil made you do that?
Omen 4, The Awakening. The nightmare has just begun.
Hello, children. Are you well? Are you comfy? Are you properly lubricated?
Oh, I don't have a beer.
Could get one, because we are now. It's Beer and Bad Movies. How we doing, guys?
Oh, mine sounded weaker than yours.
Yeah, it did. It's Joe Uday Uclea and Mr. Dick Sassy, with Miss Sassy kind of chilling.
In the background as usual.
Yeah, doing her thing, looking at me like I'm an asshole.
When we say something stupid, she'll correct us.
Yeah. It's Beer and Bad Movies, folks. Let's have a little sip for, the movie.
In memory of good movies.
That's
Someone
good
has a
beer
half-drink
kiss.
beer over here.
I'll take it.
That's Joseph.
Oh, wow, that's more than half drank. Anyways.
Yeah.
Today we watched a movie that's dear to my heart and a horrible movie.
Wow. And I was expecting something a little bit creepier.
No,
Not at all.
Okay, so we're gonna explain this choice. We watched Omen 4: The Awakening. Which, first off, why The Awakening?
At first I thought about that. I thought about the name. I was like, Awakening. You know me. I'm in a darker, other creepy shit.
Yeah.
Conspiracies. People would call them conspiracies. I was like looking for creepy shit, more creepy shit, and the best they had to offer us was some upside down cross. So it left a lot of room for questions, like The Awakening, the title. I was waiting for that the whole movie,
yeah.
And that
it kind of made sense in Star Wars: The Force Awakens because they made there's an awakening in the Force.
yeah, that's different.
But there was just nothing there.
Even though that's another dog shit movie,
Yeah.
at least that one, at least you understood.
I don't think it's dog shit. Anyways,
Yeah.
So I'm going to explain why we picked this movie. All right. Now,
Can we agree that Star Wars is just shit? I'm
No.
just kidding. Different movie, different time.
I saw this movie as a kid. I must have been about 10, 11, and it scared the crap out of me. I saw, but here's the reason. Get it out. Get it out.
Excuse me. I heard people like that. A lot of comments came in. People were like, more belching and more sipping into the microphone. A lot of requests for that.
No.
All right.
At the time that I saw this movie, my mother had just become a born-again Christian.
Ooh.
So we were going to church again, and everything was the Antichrist, the end of the world, Judgment Day.
Yeah, that was my
Armageddon.
mom. My mom
Yeah.
sold all my collection of Freddy,
Mhm.
Jason, Child's Play, because all you Mormons out there.
And then I found out about the Omen series, and it frightened me because the Omen movies were played very serious. It was never, well, looking back, I mean, the first three were very serious and very kind of like, just more like slasher.
Oh, they
movies.
totally were, yeah.
You know what, the Omen movies to me were like Final Destination, but the bad guy is the devil.
Oh.
Because, everybody dies in these weird accidental deaths. And this is how scared I was of this movie. I'm like a 10-year-old. I sleep in my mom's room all of a sudden. Mom, can I sleep in your bed?
Omen 4, not the other Omen.
Omen 4. Omen 4.
Shit, The Awakening.
Yeah, I can't believe I am slapping myself for being a bitch for this. Anytime this movie, we would get the monthly TV guide, I would go to the context section, and if I saw any Omen, I was like, okay, don't be home on this time of day for like 2 hours. Yeah, it was bad.
Shit.
And I thought that every girl with dark hair was the girl Delia, who, again, she creeped me out as a kid. And then, we watched it today. It's fucking laughable.
It's hilarious. Sarah Silverman plays a little girl. That or Eli Roth as an 8-year-old boy.
Yeah. Do you remember there was a show, it was on Disney Channel for a while, called Fast Forward? Had Ben Foster in it, the guy that played Angel in X-Men The Last Stand. It was a Canadian, just a preteen show.
He's a blonde guy?
Yeah.
He was also in the 310 to Yuma.
Yes,
Okay,
he was.
yeah.
So
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
he was on a TV show called Fast Forward, and she was on it. So then I can't watch that because she's there, freaking me out.
Wow.
I was a bitch for this movie. Now, you watch the other movies, and there is something to them at least. So right now, before we get into detail about Omen 4, we're gonna fast forward you, no pun intended, on the other Omen movies. Okay, you ready, Sassy?
So we're fast forwarding them from 4 back
We're
into
gonna recap.
Oh, okay.
So okay, the first Omen, which is a 1976 movie, 76, 78. It's late 70s.
It's in the hairy 70s.
Yeah.
The very greasy, hairy, sexy 70s.
The very greasy, hairy Ron Jeremy 70s.
Was it Ron Jeremy? I thought Ron Jeremy's more 80s.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not his biographer.
I think the other... Yeah, anyways.
It is. So, okay, the first Omen. The ambassador for the American ambassador for England has a child, but it dies at birth. Or he's told it dies at birth. But this priest says, listen... This child has no father. The father's in the picture, and the mother died giving birth. So why don't you take it? Yeah, and spoiler alert: the kid's the Antichrist. Yeah,
well,
and there's all these creepy things that happen. Blah blah blah. You fast forward through that. The father finds out that he's the Antichrist, and he's I gotta kill him. Spoiler alert: he doesn't. The Antichrist lives on, and that was partly why it was kind of creepy because horror movies, the monster's supposed to die. And he doesn't. He lives on. Yeah. And there's that very creepy, epic shot at the very end of the first Omen where they're at a funeral and you're not sure if it's for Damien, the little child, or his father. And it turns out to be the father, and Damien just kind of turns around and gives that smirk like, haha, I got away.
Yeah, I think Mark owns all of them but 4, which is the funny thing.
We'll get to why 4 is kind of this weirdo thing. Then you got Omen 2 Damien, which is about a young teenage Damien who finds out that he actually is the Antichrist. Mm-hmm. He's living with his uncle and aunt.
More of a Stridex type of,
Yeah. His uncle finds out that he's the devil, and also they have this short little thing where it's like.
How does the uncle find out, by the way?
Same thing. People, there are secret priests that are like, no. Well, there's some things like they find in Egypt. It's supposed to be this like
peeping on them through a hole.
They find this not sculpture, but it's like a painting of the Antichrist
dancing naked in like a circle with like wax and.
This is my version. It's a painting of the Antichrist, and it looks just like Damien. A bunch of priests just know it's him. Damien doesn't know he's the Antichrist until halfway through, and he's like, "Why me?"
Pictures are bullshit.
Yeah.
If the pictures were true, me and Chuck would have been arrested for setting the the hills on fire over here.
There's and in this movie, there's in Damien 2, there's a very cool epic part where his Damien's cousin overhears that he's the Antichrist, and Damien confronts him, and he freaks out, and then he's like. The cousin's name is Mark. He goes, Mark, I love you. Please don't do this. Please don't leave me. I need you.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what does he do? He kills Mark.
Yeah.
And it's so creepy.
I remember that because Mark, he still owns them, and then like he likes them when people's named or after him.
So the uncle tries to kill him. Spoiler alert: he doesn't. Damien lives in part 2. Now, quickly we get to the final conflict. The final conflict out of the 3 is the only one that's kind of different.
It's almost like the people from Friday the 13th were big fans of Omen.
Maybe.
Wow, they have that same dynamic going on. Yeah. The whole Corey Feldman thing.
Mm-hmm. In part 3, Damien's all grown up, and he's like he owns this billionaire company, and now that he knows who he is and he's in charge and he's ready to bring about the devil on Earth. And he's got a whole army of minions of people. But the problem is that turns out that Jesus, but they call him the Nazarene, is supposed to be coming back. So he's like, he's coming back as a child. So he has all of his disciples killing these babies all on the same day.
See, now that's more believable.
Yeah.
I can get into that.
It's very creepy. There's like a scene where there's these 2 little Boy Scouts, and they're all, hello, missus, we're here to do our good deed. But they're devil worshippers. They're there to kill.
If they're in the Boy Scouts, you better believe they're devil worshippers.
And then the ending scene, and this is kind of why it creeps me out, and this is partly why I always stayed away from these movies.
Any growing man who's wearing shorts that are 3 inches above the knee, you better start questioning him right away. Boy Scouts or no Boy Scouts?
At the very end...
Well, especially Boy Scouts, really question.
Okay, get off on Boy Scouts.
I'm not going to get off on Boy Scouts. one pervert thing after another.
I jumped right into that one.
You did.
There at the very end, the main like protagonist in part 3 is this woman who just like randomly finds out that he's the devil, but unfortunately Damien,
happenstance is a bitch.
Yeah, Damien has actually turned her son against her, and while she's trying to kill him, he accidentally kills her son.
Her sons were the Menendez sons.
One son.
Oh.
Yeah, so her son gets killed protecting Damien, and that
dipshit.
Yeah, and there's just the scene where he's like walking around at this, I don't know, ruins of some place. He's like, "Face me, Nazarene," and then she just goes like, "Die!" And she kills him. She finally does. But he walks over to this one little spot, and you see a silhouette of Jesus. It's so creepy.
That's more of a mockery thing.
Yeah.
They've been doing that like blatantly, and the Pope himself says shit like, our Father in heaven is our Father, same on earth, and it's not. When they say our Father on earth, that's Satan. Read the Bible. Satan is the Father on earth.
I know.
So it's creepy that they would put that in a movie. That's direct mockery. So what are they really saying?
Well, he dies, so I don't know, but it's very bothersome. It's very bothersome.
No, it is.
But,
it's meant to be bothersome.
So that's part 3.
Watch a Lady Gaga video.
Damien Thorne dies, and Jesus comes back. Now we're at the Omen 4. I guess Jesus just decided to leave again? I don't know. He's just not there anymore. They reference Damien Thorne, but they don't reference the fact that Jesus Christ came back.
I picture when Jesus Christ actually coming back, it's not going to be as lame as that. Like,
I don't think there's ever going to be a second coming. I think if Jesus is there,
if there's going to be a second coming,
he's up there.
And that it's going to be because the trumpets sound from the east. The trumpets are going to be the Trump supporters.
Just so we're clear, I'm not religious, so
yeah. Me either.
So,
but
okay, but
if I had to root for one of them, I'd probably root for Jesus.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying this whole Satan thing has gotten out of control.
Here's part 4. So these Catholic nuns have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to adopt her off to a good family. They end up adopting her off to the exact family that the devil worshippers want. So they help them, I guess. And then all of the nuns and priests.
Paperwork.
All of the nuns and priests. That knew
Satan's
him,
very good at paperwork.
Yeah, he's very good.
Be very, very wary of anybody who's like good at.
Who's
the
really good.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
No shit.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so that's it. What it is it turns out that this little girl, Delia, is actually Damien Thorne's daughter.
Delia, where have I heard that name before?
That was the name of the daughter.
Beetlejuice.
Delia Dietz.
Delia Dietz. I knew I heard the name before.
Yeah.
Delia Dietz. So what's with that name? I'm gonna look into that name. I bet there's something more. Okay, so where are we? Delia. The name Delia. I knew I heard it before. It's Delia Dietz from Beetlejuice.
So I recently downloaded all the Omens because if you actually do watch the Omen movies, if you just don't take them as serious as I did as a child, you would understand that they're fiction, that they're just a horror movie, and they're just pretty good at scaring you. One of the reasons that I also kind of got scared by this movie is because one day I went over to my cousin's place, my aunt's place, and my cousin was actually watching the first Omen. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I gotta stay away from this. And we're watching the scene where, in the first one, Damien tries to kill his mom and make it look like an accident.
Yeah.
I left the house, and then I called my cousin like a week later. Pardon me.
That's what you said.
I asked him, I go, hey, Tim. His name's Tim. So, did...
Tim, I says.
Yeah. Tim, did Damien end up killing his mom? And he gave the most death metal answer, because he was a death metal guy. He goes... No, Damien fucked up and his protector / nanny had to do it for him. I was like, good God, man, you're rooting for them to kill somebody?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's stuff like that kind of like bothered me.
Well, because in this movie, the way they portray it, like as if, this Delia has the right or she's justified to go around to be this little piece of shit. And it's like, just because someone acts like a dick doesn't give you the right to go around acting like a bigger dick or killing them or forcing to piss their pants in front of people or beheading their father, with a truck of fucking balls.
This movie, like watching this now, it is so just left and right. It doesn't know
Nope.
when somebody is like the bad guy
No, it
and
doesn't.
when somebody is the victim.
It lacks ring logic.
Exactly. It lacks. If you're the devil, would you be constantly being evil, or would you want to be the nice guy to try and win everybody? Because that's what Damien did.
And I also don't understand the whole praising. Satan wouldn't give a shit if you pray. Like, in the end, Satan, so you're going to get betrayed. It's like the ultimate heel. And you think that by somehow, like, whoever thought of this really needs to go back. We need to go back in time. If there's ever reason to, like, create a time machine, go back in time and correct something in history. It's for us to correct Omen 4.
In this movie, Delia is a bad child. We see her do lots of bad things, but she's only bad, or she's bad, and then she's constantly just giving dirty looks to the mother who's supposed to be the protagonist. Yeah. And it's just sort of like, wow, I wonder if my child's evil.
She looks odd. The mom in this looks oddly like the mother from Beetlejuice. And yet the daughter, again, his name is Delia.
Yeah.
So what's with that?
Maybe the person who wrote this might have been like a big Beetlejuice fan. I don't know.
Yeah, red hair.
But it's just... there's a cockroach over there, but it's gone now.
Well, I'll have to kill it later.
Yeah. But yeah, so... And then also, this is a movie... So there's a podcast that I listen to a lot called How Did This Get Made? It's got Paul Scheer. It's really funny. I love it. But with this movie, it's not how did this get made? Why did this get made? The Omen series, which is a good series, was capped off perfectly. The Antichrist is killed, and Jesus comes back. Who said we need another Omen movie? Why?
You know, I have 3 answers. 2 of them I can't give for other reasons because it probably doesn't belong on this podcast.
Okay.
But the number one is probably going to be because someone said, hey, we're making more money in our VHS than we are with anything else. Obviously, the theater crapped out, but when you sell it across seas, overseas, internationally, then these movies are making more money.
Yeah, I remember somebody asked Kevin Smith about like how does he handle criticism for he's a bad director, and he says that like as long as I make the money back and then a little sum, I'll always be in the game because any theatrical release is really just a big advertisement for their home video release.
Yeah, basically that's all it is.
Yeah, so it's like a movie like The Omen, which is going directly to home video, or Omen 4, which is going directly to home video and TV, because this was a TV movie, technically, already had a built-in audience with Omen 1s, 2, and 3.
Yeah, like the Elvira specials, 30 Days of Elvira.
But just like, to me, what's funny is that like in the horror movie Thanksgiving Table, you've got Freddy, Jason, Pinhead, Leatherface, all these guys are at the table. And then you've got like at the kiddie table of horror table, which would be like what is it?
Never heard of that.
A Phantasm and like Omen, because just the Omen was so long ago.
But the funny thing is like those movies should be at the adult table. It should be the other ones that are the shittier ones at the kid table, but they're executed you can tell like those movies are such shit. And they're obviously made to be gratuitous, yet somehow they're directed way better. And it's like, how did you get a porn director to do a movie that good? And it's, then you look at the Omens and it's like, wow, what deep content we have. Yeah. And for them to execute it in such a poor way to where you can give a shit less.
The Omen 4 is a poor way, yes. It's most definitely poor. I think the reason that the first Omen movie was such a success was because it's, number one, it's very dry. Everything about it is very serious. It's not like in Freddy Krueger where then he's like killing somebody on a beach.
There's her dog, a big old cute cuddly Rottweiler. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to believe this fucking dog. Yeah. No, not for a second. He's supposed to be a hellhound. Mm-hmm. No.
But Omen 4 just loses on so many counts. It's like, first off, here's the big plot twist of Omen 4. I'm going to give this away right now because I don't give a fuck. So, Delia isn't technically the Antichrist.
Omen 4 spoiler alert.
Yeah. She's not the Antichrist. However, she was some sort of weird, very, 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 very rare twin who carries her own twin brother inside of her but that's a fetus too. So like it stays a fetus until I don't know. And then what happens is one day she gets injured. The evil Satan doctor takes the twin out of her, and then one day when her mom faints, puts it in her. She gets pregnant, and that's the new Antichrist.
Yeah, very
Stupid.
very deep, very deep.
Very deep. Yeah, whatever. So like, and just none of it. It all falls to place stupidly. So Delia is a bad kid, but she immediately is just like, there's got to be something up with my kid. I got to find out who her mom and dad are. Because she's adopted. I got to find her mom and dad. So she then hires a private detective to find this guy.
Who is, by the way, the mayor from Godzilla with Matthew Broderick.
Yes, that guy. I forget his name, but yeah.
But yeah, he likes M&M's.
Yeah, that's right. He does.
Peanut M&M's. Not just in the movies, but I'm sure he had that contractually put into the movie.
Remember the line, back off, Gene.
Yeah, back off, Gene.
Yeah, and then, but so she hires this guy, and just they find a former nun who knew the baby was evil somehow, and she has all these like these newspaper clippings about her father, Damien Thorne, and just so she gets all the mother gets all this at the very end.
Playgirl photos he was in. You could tell right away in those photos he was.
She just gets all this information and believes it, and then just goes like, my doctor's got to be evil too. Then the doctor in this movie is an evil Satanist, but they don't like
right away. You can tell that because he was a ginger.
He wasn't a ginger.
He was a soulless ginger.
Fuck you.
Orange hair. Fucking. His hair was coiffed.
He had very coiffed hair. He did.
There you go. Strikes 1 and 2.
So
might as well assume.
There is strike 1 because that story was just so convoluted and
strike 3 is he's a doctor. There you go.
No. Strike 2, the music.
Oh, and the music was fucking horrendous.
Yes, in the first Omen movie, the first 3 Omen movies, there was this very spooky, religious type of singing. It's like choir singing, but from a singing, but from a
we used the Omen music in our old school wrestling. I remember that.
And this one was like someone's 5-year-old was playing on a what do you call those things? Those ding 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 ding. You know.
I have no idea what you're talking. No, I get. Yeah.
You know what the thing is? That's it.
Xylophones.
A xylophone.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that supposed to be scary? How did you go from that to this? It literally feels like a de-evolution in age, though.
Yeah, it was. And I want to say that I know we watched a really horrible copy also. It didn't help that we were watching a shit copy.
We were watching a free copy on YouTube.
It's really bad.
It's bad.
But let me tell you, the audio, I don't care if that was an HD or 4K, you could tell the music was horrible. The score was shit. And whoever did casting should be taken out back and worked over a little bit.
Here's another thing that freaked me out is so the woman that played the mother, like I've seen her before, like she still kind of acts, but I remember her specifically from an episode of Tales from the Crypt. So in my stupid paranoid 10-year-old mind, she was in Omen and she's in Tales from the Crypt. She's got to be evil. I can't watch that episode of Tales from the Crypt.
You're probably right.
And the Tales from the Crypt episode was funny as hell.
I bet you were onto something.
The Tales from the Crypt episode was she was a horny housewife who watched soap operas all day. Meanwhile, her husband was so busy with work, so she decides to seduce the cable guy. And then next thing you know, the husband finds out. And it turns out that what the husband's doing in his basement as far as science is he's learning how to do head transplants.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So then he transplants their heads on each other's bodies.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
It is.
All right, Omen. Back to Omen. So at the very end, the bad guys win again. And it's so strange that, like, in the first Omen movie...
I feel like we're working up to get people into Omen 4, or like the 2006 Omen.
No.
Like, now there is a good piece of work.
That's some shit right there.
Manchurian Candidate was in it.
Yeah, Lee...
Harvey Oswald.
Lee Shriver.
Shriver.
Yeah.
Shriver? Shriver. I don't know. What was
his name? What was his name in Scream?
Played Sabretooth.
What was his name in Scream?
His name in Scream was...
Yeah. Okay.
He was a horrible actor.
We're getting off topic.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
All I'm saying is boycott Lee Shriver.
The Delia and the devil and whatever spiritual powers, they have more power in this movie than they did in the other one.
Well, let's not forget the carnival incident.
Oh my god, the carnival scene!
The nun takes her to the carnival.
No, it's not the nun. It's not her nanny. Her
you're right.
Nanny.
You're right. I'm confusing the nun with the nanny.
Let me. Okay, so they decide to get her a nanny because if you watch the first Omen movie, the nanny is kind of like that's a secret devil worshiper that protects Damien. In this new one, they get another nanny, and they get a nanny, and she's kind of religious, spiritual, psychic. And she immediately is just like, Delia's evil. Oh my god, I sense something. And of course, Delia doesn't even give her a reason to not believe that.
What?
Yeah, exactly, thank you.
Deborah.
With your Steve Weiser.
Yeah.
And she decides that, like, she has one of her friends look at her through the car, and she's like, the guy's like, I see chaos and anger and rage. I'm like, really?
That's what my mom saw when I was born.
Yeah, I bet. And then they take her to a psychic carnival.
True story.
It's just so
If you haven't
weird.
been to a psychic carnival in the Midwest, you are missing out. And a psychic carnival in the Midwest in December.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yeah,
sometime during a gloomy time, let me tell you, it was really
there was always
wintry.
something about how everybody was always wearing thick coats in this movie that just kind of bothered me.
And they couldn't afford Don Johnson, so they got Rob Johnson.
Yeah, Don Johnson's brother.
Slob Johnson.
Yeah. And
the guy had two broken legs and a mullet.
Yeah, horrible mullet. Oh, and a fucking...
Psychic mullet.
What is it, Levi jacket? Or a denim jacket.
Oh, yeah, a denim jacket. I think that had a denim jacket on.
Yeah. So she takes me to this psychic carnival, and it really is just like people doing palm readings and looking at crystal balls, and every time Delia walks by them, they freak out.
Spitting in each other's palms. Like,
yeah.
What's that, your pool?
Yeah. Yeah. But
really horrible carnival.
I think you have enough evidence, Nanny. You know, like you take her everywhere and people freak out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, how about that? That's enough. Once
she set the fucking carnival on fire.
She did.
After taking a picture.
She takes some sort of weird aura picture.
Bernie Mac from Oceans. Enough said.
Yeah. It's just so ridiculous. And it's one of those things where, like, if you think she's evil, and then everyone around you, all of your second friends are telling you she's evil, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. But no, she just won't stop.
Or a pretty good duck impersonator, which either way.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
Oh my god. She kills people at this fucking carnival, and
she did. She set some people on fire.
Mm-hmm.
She worried a blind guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most Satan thing she ever did. The most Satan thing she did.
I know, so metal.
Yeah, scared a blind guy.
It was hilarious watching him do because he's emoting, so just.
He's probably the best actor in the whole fucking movie. Actually, I was thinking to myself, is that guy blind?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't get it.
He might be because he obviously didn't read the fucking script. I mean,
that's cold-blooded.
That's cold. Yeah,
cold-blooded. All right, so yeah, like everybody just. The other thing in this movie that you never saw a lot in the other movies, pardon me,
Jeez.
upside down crosses.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And it's just, I get what it means. That's meant to be an insult to Christ and Christianity, not just Catholicism, but Christian religion. However, that's also a sign of humbleism. You know that, right?
It depends on who's using it, and you know what I mean. Context.
It could also be St. Peter's cross.
That's what I'm talking about with humbleism.
Yeah, exactly.
Because St. Peter felt that he was not good enough to die the same way as Jesus did, so he was crucified upside down. Humbleism, but just like
that's an excuse, I believe. Sorry, guys. Hey, if anybody loves St. Peter, get ready for this truth bomb. St. Peter died upside down because have you ever been upside down? It's a rush. So what he did was he didn't want to feel the pain, so he died upside down.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So he's like, Jesus was stupid.
I'm gonna live 5 days.
Modern science, bitches. And then he flipped upside down, and there you go.
Though, for those who don't know, the way that crucifixion kills you is the way that they post you up on a cross, cuts off circulation, and you slowly die from lack of blood flow. Anyways, there's just upside down crosses everywhere, and I feel like such an asshole for actually being afraid of this movie as a kid. Really do.
And you should.
There's no...
And if you ever have a kid, I want you to tell your kid, don't be an asshole like me, Junior.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming you're going to name him Uday Junior.
Uday Part 2.
Yeah.
His actual name is going to be Uday Part 2 Euclea.
The mom will have no say in the name, obviously.
We're going to pull the dictator, and as soon as she gives birth, we just kill her.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Because no one in the right mind would allow that name for a child.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, there's Pilot Inspector.
No, yeah, that's right, Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Northeast, North South.
Yeah, I know. So, Rich, what do you think, like, if you could give this movie a grade, what would it be?
I would have to give this movie an S for satisfactory.
You piece of shit.
I was satisfied.
Really?
While we're watching it, I was making fun of it. I was finding hole after hole. They made it easy for me, I gotta say. It's like if you were like inspecting a car to find out what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's like it gave you all the signs of what you need to fix. That's what this movie did, and I was like, basically, this movie gave me inspiration for us.
Inspirado.
Yeah, we want to work on a movie. I know Ronnie wants to work on a movie.
Pop Dog.
Oh, Pop Dog. Deborah. And then, so, it gave me inspiration to work on a quick movie using the Bible, and they showed you how you can do it really quick without funding. But if you have a little bit of love, you can actually do a really good movie.
This movie kind of, it reminded me of...
but if we're being realistic, it gets a D. If that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
This movie reminded me of Independence Day Resurgence and Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yep.
Because here I'm going to spoil Pacific Rim Uprising. I don't give a fuck.
Don't. It's such a good movie.
Shut the I like Pacific Rim. I don't know if you liked the first one.
The first one was kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It tried to make giant monsters and giant robots have a kind of
only because it was supposed to be the other Godzilla.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows that.
But here's the plot of Pacific
how did the
Rim.
lady stay off of you?
Whoa! God, I am drowning in pussy.
I'm surprised. You should just have 20 kids running around. I don't even know.
I might. Who knows?
Horrible.
In Pacific Rim, so there's like this dimensional portal in the Pacific Ocean that brings up monsters. They find a way to stop it and they kill it.
Yeah.
What do? They send a nuclear bomb to the other side and blows it up.
Something like never mind.
Yeah. So in part 2, it's that one of the guys who interacted with the monster brains has now secretly got a monster brain inside of him.
Yeah.
Like it's like his consciousness, and he's trying to bring us back, trying to bring the monsters back. And I was like, really? I mean, they blew up a nuclear bomb inside their world. I kind of feel like they're done.
If you blew up a nuclear bomb in our world, we wouldn't be done.
Yeah, but
you might fuck up whoever on this side.
You would fuck up people to a point where it's like, oh my god, we can't go back there now.
And I also love how they put like a nuclear bomb and the physics of the nuclear bomb with something totally that doesn't exist on our plane, our realm, which is a rift.
We're getting off topic.
No, I'm saying the movie itself.
So
they don't explain
that's
that.
what the Omen 4 to me is that it's
a nonsensical movie.
Yeah, let's make a sequel that still follows the story, but realistically can't. So we got to find the most illogical way.
That's exactly what. If that's what you meant by the other movie, then I agree.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because how do you have some kind of a rift that you opened up? That should be the most amazing part. And if we're dealing with the daughter or son of Satan, that should be amazing. I don't know why we're automatically going to be like, kill him. Like, if murder's the first thing on your mind, how benevolent of a person are you?
Everybody
How much of a Christ follower
this girl
are you?
is evil And it's like, she is, so why doesn't somebody talk to her like she's a fucking child? Everyone's just like, that kid's evil. I'm like, well, fucking do something about it. Or,
yeah, but I mean, like, that's we
come.
we come at everything like that, right? So let's say Jesus was born and Jesus like, I'm the Son of God, the only begotten Son of God. I have to die for all of you. So anybody who's going to try and kill me, I have to kill them first. Let's say we turn the story of Jesus into a murderous rampage story where Jesus killed everybody along the way, including Judas, who tried to betray him. And then, did. And then, Jesus is like, nice try, Judas, pin in the neck. And then it's like, nope, not today, Judas.
Yeah.
And later on, Jesus is like, I have to die for everyone. Not realizing that was it, Jesus is like, oh, Judas is supposed to betray me, so I die for everyone. What if we do a story like that with Jesus? Like, that'd be a good movie, right? Our own version of Omen, but with Jesus.
Anyway,
Christ being the Antichrist.
Yeah, I give this movie an F, a complete F, only because
fun,
for fucking fantastic.
It is,
and I just.
So
I'm going to go home.
We got to see people set on fire.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to go home. I have my hard drive right here, which has all the Omen movies on it.
Oh, good.
I'm going to go home.
That's a keeper. That hard drive's a keeper.
Plug it in and delete Omen 4 The Awakening.
Ooh.
Delete it.
But every actor in that who might be dead will definitely be feeling that.
I don't care. Yo, you know what's funny? Last night, I went and looked up the actress that played Delia, and she's on Facebook.
And she's got, like, 0 friends?
I added her. Oh. So, after pretty much everybody that, like... after this movie, The Omen 4, they really just forgot about it, like, almost immediately.
Mm-hmm. So you were mentioning you found her on Facebook.
I found her on Facebook. I added her. It was a public page.
Yeah.
So it's not like you sent a friend request. You just hit like. Because she was still acting up until a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is a Canadian movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Because Ben Foster... The guy from Fast Forward and 30 Days of Night and the 310 to Yuma.
Oh, yeah.
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
And so is she.
Yeah.
And Canada or Toronto, that's where they do a lot of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they do the Flash and Arrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
You betcha.
I know.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Huh.
If the Fonz was Canadian, would he go, eh?
Or would he go, eh? Eh?
Oh, you laugh for his, but not for mine. I see how it is, Miss Sassy.
See, mine was executed with a more eh. No, it's pathetic. I agree. I did. I tried to, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're almost done. We're not done just yet.
No, but I will go through the fact that I hadn't seen this movie for years and years and years, and I seen it again today. And I was like, God damn, this movie is way funnier than I remember. And the girl in this movie totally nails being a little jerk, which is pretty funny. But I really don't understand how it's like she cares about being loved. I'll never understand that. She cares about being revered. All these loving things that come from a loving,
but
godly...
she's such a bitch.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, you think Satan would be like, you spit in my face and you tell me, fuck you. That's how you love me.
Well, it could be pride or vanity.
It's probably both.
It kind of is that, but when a kid who's also like 8 years old is so pride and vain already, it's like, well, you're a weird fucker.
Yeah.
So there's this one bit where, oh God, I forget what
I do love how she made the kid piss his pants.
That was funny, yeah.
That was funny.
Here's something where I'm like, this is so weird. Remember there was a scene where she's... it was just after the Jehovah's Witnesses went to her door.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she cussed them out.
She did.
So then they go to them. And
they had it coming, though. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Hold on.
Morty.
Morty. Yeah. Man, that's both of us, actually. So then her parents, or Delia's parents, talked to her, and she's like, well, they were talking about the end of the world and how I'm a sinner. And so she cries a little bit. And then
They were.
Yeah.
And she was.
Yeah.
And she
goes for a hug from the dad. And then the second that she's hugging the dad, she just stares dead eyes into the mother.
Oh, that was funny.
And I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That's pretty much like starting war. Like, she could have probably played it a little bit better.
It's just
that's her being like, no, I don't care.
I can do this anytime I want, bitch.
Yeah. She was in it to fucking win it.
Yeah,
She really
she
was.
just didn't give him a fuck, and I'm just kinda
Like,
like, what the
She did
hell?
plan it a little bit better. In our movie, at least, I would have it. Let's say we do redo our version of Omen.
Okay.
Called Schmomen, right?
I like it.
Just because we don't want to get sued.
Mhm.
And, you know, we have her grow up a little bit more. I would have her be smart. Has, I don't know, Satan blood, devil
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
Call more clever than what you want. But, like, I would have her play it out to, like, wait till she gets older. Well, you know, that would make more sense. Not being an 8-year-old wise ass who's, like, having your hellhound attack Jehovah's Witnesses at the door, throwing nannies out of windows, and then playing on the same exact fucking merry-go-round the next day.
that was where you should have known that, like, okay,
Yeah.
my daughter's more than just weird. I think she's a bit of a bitch. Because,
Yeah.
like, she has the first nanny, the psychic nanny,
Yeah.
who is then thrown from a window because she's like, oh, I know who you are. And she's thrown from a window and she falls on this little, what is it called? A merry-go-round?
Merry-go-round, yeah.
Yeah, the kind where little kids are hanging on by the handlebar.
But if we were to be honest, let's say that glass,
Yeah.
that window,
Yeah.
probably not up to standards because she went through it really, really, like, easy.
Well, that's how it was in action movies. Like, yeah, you think about it now, some action movies are actually more smarter about how they deal with things like glass.
They are more smarter.
Yeah. Like, there's that movie, The Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, he wraps up his hand to bust through a glass door and then cuts his hand, like, really bad. Because,
That's true.
that would happen. Now, in real life, you
Yeah.
cannot just jump through a glass window and be like, I'm okay. No, you'd be fucking ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even
or at least
dead,
if you're going
but
to throw someone through a window, show their, like, first half of the torso going through the window. And then them getting caught on the glass and their stomach spilling out and they didn't quite make it.
And that nanny was just like, she had no blood. I don't think she had blood.
She had some blood, but it looked like maybe it was from a shaving accident the night before. Like, around her cheek area.
Yeah.
It wasn't from the fall, though. Maybe some chocolate syrup.
It was fucking stupid.
By the way, if you're into horror movies, remember, mix your Hershey's chocolate syrup with your blood.
Yeah.
It's the only way people are going to respect you.
You know what? Let me ask you a question, Sassy. What's a horror movie you recommend?
Horror movie I recommend.
Yeah.
Maybe that one, Fade to Black.
Oh, that one we saw a long time ago?
Long time ago. That was a good one, man.
That'd be a good one.
Is
Is that really a horror movie? Is that more like a
I guess it's a suspense thriller.
Suspense. I mean, it's
But
still good.
It has a horror
Yeah.
concept only because he goes and does dress up like other horror.
Yeah.
people
Well, he
in
dresses
it.
up like other film icons.
Yes, film icons that are in the horror genre.
Yeah.
Some of them, not all of them. But yeah, if that movie were to be redone and in a very intelligent way nowadays, that's a fucking keeper. In
I
fact,
actually agree with that.
you know what I mean? Like, that would have to be psychologically done, and that would scare the fuck out of people to see maybe a film icon that you're like, wait, who is that? What is that? And to have them coming at you being like, oh, fuck, can you imagine someone dressed up like a Terminator
Yeah.
and they were coming at you? You wouldn't expect it.
But
Well, this
the real
movie...
gun-
Yeah, well, this movie does that, but back in the day, for people back in the day. So a
guy-
new age one would be
This
different.
guy kills a guy dressed as the mummy, gives him a heart attack. He
Yeah.
dressed like a 30s gangster and shoots up a
Exactly.
barbershop.
So a new age one would be someone dressing like Stallone or Schwarzenegger and no one understanding what the fuck happened. And soon you could see the population freaking out that there's...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit
Well,
like
I
that.
agree to that movie being remade only because it's not well known. It's a good movie, and and surprisingly, there are a few people in there that like no one's like, whoa, it's so and so's in there.
And you know what? Just for the way it is, I'd get Mickey Rourke to be back in it again.
That's right. For those listening, Mickey Rourke is in a really cool movie, like one of his first movies called Fade to Black. It's a weird suspense theatrical movie. Okay, my pick. This is more of a straight horror slasher. The Loved Ones. Oh, I love that movie.
Not sure I've seen that.
You probably have it because it's Australian. It's this movie. It's okay. So this guy, this teenager gets asked to the prom by this girl, and he says, "I'm sorry, but I already have a girlfriend. I'm taking her to the prom." This girl's dad kidnaps him, and they have their own little fucked up prom at her house. But it's actually, you find out this is something her and her dad do all the time. They kidnap a boy she likes, and they they do things where they inject him with this chemical where he can't talk anymore. So he's constantly doing that.
You better slow down. This movie's turning me on.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Mm-hmm.
she carves. You know how you would carve initials into a tree?
Yes, I do. I have
In
carved
this-
many initials in a mini tree.
In this movie,
And Mother Nature has karma lined
yeah.
up for me, let me tell you.
I'm sure you D sassy, M sassy.
I wouldn't be
forever.
surprised if when the world fucking ends, some trees grab me and start carving their initials into me.
Just like the
Oak was here in
Yeah.
my fucking chest. That's what I would deserve.
Brooks was here. But I know. So she like with a fork carves her initials into his chest and stuff like that. So it's a good slow just, like fucked up movie about psychos, and there's a weird twist at the end. I will say this: zombies.
I like a zombie twist. Not everyone does. I like a zombie
It's
twist.
not zombies in the exact way.
No,
but
they
they're
don't have to be.
zombies,
But I like the
and it's
premise.
Australian, and it's really fucking good. Way better than fucking Omen 4. I'm a bitch as a little kid for being scared of this fucking movie. Fuck!
So like I said, we need to create a time machine, go back in time, convince the younger you not to be scared of Omen 4.
Sassy, where can people contact you at for comments, concerns, likes?
They can, on Twitter, at ChickSassy. That's my wife's thing, because I've been booted from several things. Let's see.
It's funny because it's true.
You can contact me on Facebook under Magaman, Magaman,
Yeah.
Magaman.
By the way, our politics differ, but he's my friend, and I
Yeah.
love him, so, go
exactly,
there.
same here. You could also check me out maybe on Instagram under Dick Sassy. So
He's very funny on Instagram.
let me tell you, Facebook would be different if they allowed me to name myself Dick Sassy, but it's no longer allowed.
They won't?
No.
What?
So, yeah, that's why I had to go Magaman.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's so weird.
And the same thing with good old Instagram. Editing people, man.
Yeah.
What do you want?
can find me on Facebook as Uday Uclea. That's Uday, Uclea, Ukleja.
Mhm.
If you have any comments, concerns, obviously you're probably listening to this podcast from one of our links. But I'm gonna actually say this: if you motherfuckers are listening,
Yeah.
why don't you send us a comment, concern with a movie that we should watch?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'd love some feedback.
That way, also, we can get you involved.
Yeah.
Your comments, your concerns. That way, you can actually challenge to see if we are watching these movies,
Yeah.
or if we made up every single word we said. Maybe Omen 4.
We
is
never
nothing-
watched Omen
Yeah,
4.
Maybe it's nothing like what we said. Maybe it's a really good movie.
It's a musical.
Maybe it's a musical Fargo.
Oh.
No, no.
But
Let's not go that far.
I'll say this: if there's a movie that you want to challenge us to say that it's not a bad movie, but you know what, watch it. Tell me what you think. Maybe we'll do that too. I
Yeah.
want to see something different because we've already got plenty of bad movies to go from. Do it.
Oh, all right. Deborah. Sorry.
But yeah. And by the way, you can also check us out on our other podcasts, Booze and the Dudes, and Everything is Political.
Yeah, check out Booze and the Dudes. That's the other thing. It's
That's-
over here on Podbeam. It's
Yeah.
actually under The Booze and the
The
Dudes.
Booze and the Dudes, which is Dick Sassy, Uday Uclea, and Big Bucks Chuck. That's our little group one. But of course, that's kind of more or less whoever Big Bucks has with him at the time.
Yeah, whoever's willing to
Yeah.
be on the program. And we are willing to talk about pretty much anything and everything on that podcast.
Beer and Bad Movies is just me and Sassy. Everything is Political is the Sassies.
Damn right.
All right, Sassy, you got anything to say?
Nope. I would just like to thank anybody and everybody who is listening to this podcast, if you're listening to this podcast. And please share it with any and all of your friends. And throw in your suggestions. They are all appreciated, and all your comments are appreciated.
Take it easy.
Later.